Yo, in this video, I'm gonna tell you guys the truth about residual income and passive income. And my boy Gary Vee just did a video about that a couple days ago, which is so apropos to this. Be right back with you. Yo, what's up everybody? This is your Coach Renz. I want to appreciate everybody for being here, all my patrons, everybody who subscribes to the channel. Yes, this is another video about finances. Why? Because finances are very important. And as I do more and more coaching sessions with people in financial alchemy, there is a mindset that I realize that I have to change even more so in people. And what is that? That is the concept, the idea of residual income, of passive income, what it really looks like, what the reality of it is. Most of you are being duped, tricked. You have a mindset of passive income that doesn't really exist. And the main reason why is because that's what you've been taught. You've been shown that over and over and over again. Let me tell you guys a little story. There's a guy I know. He got involved with a network marketing company called Vitalis some years ago, maybe 7-8 years ago. He started doing very well, and he did very well. Then I saw him one day. He was making $30,000 a month. I see him a year later. He's doing $50,000, $60,000 a month. At this point of his Vitalis career, he's a millionaire, multi-millionaire. He's making tons of money. He's living, he's making the money of the dream that they present to you. But guess what? He works every day. He's not on private jets. He's not living on the beach. He's not just, as that old cooking commercial, set it and forget about it. No, he's making videos every day. He's posting on Instagram, Facebook every day. He's doing phone calls every day. He's helping people with phone calls every day. He is working just as much on this business as his first business, which was a gym. Matter of fact, he still owns his gym. He's invested in other people's businesses, hair salons, things like that. But guess what? He's still working. The difference is he controls his time. He controls how much he works. Can he take his daughter to school? Yes, he can. Can he show up at all the parent-teacher functions? Sure. Can he volunteer? Yes. But guess what? He still works. And that's the idea of passive income, residual income. You see, you've been tricked. You've been tricked with the cars and the houses and all these kind of things. Let me tell you another thing I realized. In 1997, when I came back to America, I'm sitting up late at night watching an infomercial. Now, I lived in Tampa, Florida at the time, but I'm watching these infomercials. And then there's one infomercial come on where this guy talking about hey, all you gotta do is place these ads in the newspaper and you just see the money roll in. See the money roll in. It's kind of like drop shipping is today, but just see the money roll in. Just place some tiny ads. That's all you gotta do. Place these tiny ads. And I live in this big old house because just from placing these tiny ads, I turned my head. I was like, what? Whoa. Because at first I was excited. Just placing tiny ads? That's all I gotta do? So then I turned my head, I was like, whoa. You see, the house that he claimed that he lived in was on Bayshore Drive in Tampa, Florida. I drove past that house every day going to work. And I've seen the elderly Cuban people who live in this house that this young white guy was saying was his. He was flossing, y'all. That's an old term for you youngins. That was flossing. He was flossing. He was lying. He rented that house. And many of these infomercials, fly-by-nights, many of these MLMs, they're telling you that you can live this life, live that life, but they're renting these houses, they're renting these cars, they got models showing up. The people who are telling you that you can come and learn how to flip this house and live off passive income, you can rent these houses, live off passive income, you can get these Airbnbs and live off passive income. True, you're not trading your time for money in the same sense that if you work for somebody else, but you're still trading your time for money. You're just getting more money for doing it. That's the idea of residual and passive income. But guess what, guys? It takes a ton of work. It takes a butt ton of work. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen overnight. The guy who's a millionaire now from Vitalis, it didn't happen overnight. It took him years to build it, and he still grinds. It's just he controls his time. All these Bill Gates, he can live off the income, but he still grinds. But he controls his time. So same thing with Warren Buffett. Same thing with anybody else. Now, if you just wanted to make about $50,000, $60,000 a year based on an online website that sells product, you can do that. You can do that through Amazon. You can do that through your own website. You can do that through many different forms, but the thing about it is you have to realize it takes time. One of the lessons from the richest man in Babylon is that gold, one of the 5 rules of gold does not respond to impossible gains. And anytime you see these programs, they're promising you impossible gains. Can you work it to the point where you don't have to work your job anymore? It can replace your income? Sure, but you're still working it. Can you build a business online that's providing you your income, $50,000, $60,000 a year? Yes, you can. But if you fail to continue to market it, fail to continue to pay attention to the market as it moves as far as products and services go, you will start to lose out. You know how many people rose up in network marketing companies and then fell back down? Many of them. Do you know that only 98% of the people who get involved with any of those never make any money or lose money? 98%. Never make the money and lose money. There's only a few percent that actually makes that, but even that few percent, they may have down lines and sideways lines and crisscross lines, but they're still working, they're still doing calls, they're still helping other people, they're still recruiting. You got to constantly recruit, constantly recruit. You got to constantly understand marketing. You got to constantly sell. It never stops. It never stops, and you shouldn't want it to stop anyway, because none of these people are living on the beach. When you go to some of these flip this house seminars, those people who are running this flip this house seminars, they're working. They're still working. They may have other people who go out and do the seminars for them, but they're still working. I went to T. Harv Eker's Millionaire Mind Intensive, 3 days. Even though T. Harv showed up for the last 2 days, he had somebody else there. But he's still flying all around the country, all around the world, still doing seminars, still working. He's still writing books. He's still investing. He's still working. Unless you are one of those people where you get the opportunity, which means you have to be a certified investor, to get involved with a Facebook when it first starts, to get involved with an Uber when it first starts, and then you make money off of someone else's company. Yes, then, but you still got to do the research and you still got to pay attention. That's true residual income, but do you have $250,000 to invest in a startup? In someone's startup? Do you have $1 million to be seed money for a startup? Do you have 5 million? Do you have 20 million of seed money to get involved with a startup that is the size of something that comes out and be a Facebook, that becomes an Instagram? And then do you have the knowledge base to know and understand that this Instagram may work, but it may not? That Vidmo may work, but it may not. You could have gotten involved in MySpace and you may have lost all your money. Can you afford the loss? Are you substantial enough that you can afford the loss? Do you have enough income coming in that you can afford the loss of the money you invested in some other company that you expect to get residual income from that company where you're not working but you're an investor? Are you at that level? Do you have 40 or 50,000 that you can invest in someone's restaurant they want to start, or into a club, or some other kind of business they want to start, a bar? Do you have that money? And if you lose it, can you take the loss? If you can't, then you're not ready for that type of residual income. Your mind is not ready for that type of residual income. If you go to one of these house flip and you want to get involved in real estate, do you have the money to get involved, carry the note for maybe 6-7 months, because it may take that long to flip the house? Do you have the credit to be able to get the loan to be able to make the purchase of the house? Do you have any of those things in place? If you don't, then it's going to take time for you to get it in place. You have to be patient. I told you guys before, a business that is successful after 10 years, that becomes like a household name, that makes millions of dollars in 10 years, is considered an overnight success. It usually takes a company 20 to 30 years to become a multi-million-dollar business. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. But your mindset is on the sprint. You're putting your money and your time in places that you expect to get impossible gains from, and it never responds. It never responds because you got to get your mind in the right place. You got to get that control over your emotions and over your thoughts. You got to make sure you have correct data. Because if you don't have the facts, you don't have the data, you don't have the patience, and you don't have it within yourself to say, I'm taking a measured risk, then you're not ready. But if you want to get ready, you have to start changing your mind. If you want to get ready, you got to get your credit right. If you want to get ready, you need to get in on my 70-10-10-10 plan for managing your finances. Basically, I'm saying if you want to get ready, you need to join Financial Alchemy. And even in that, you still got to develop. It's going to take, you may spend 8 months with me, but it's still going to take you years of development. And you have to realize you got the time. If you're in your 20s, you got plenty of time. If you're 40, you probably are not going to stop working until you're 80. You got plenty of time. You can invest 5 years into building something that can continuously provide you income through and minimizing your physical work, but only the fact that you got to maintain the mental capacity of work, watching over things, putting the right systems in place so that other people can manage your company. You have to be ready. You have to be willing to go through the process. And that's what most people are not. They're not ready to go through the process. And you have to get that in your mind. So I want to leave you guys with that thought process of be ready to go through the process. Have the patience to go through the process. But if you're willing and ready to go through the process, then you'll find success at the end. You'll understand that true residual income gives you the ability to control your time on how much energy you put out, what time you get up. You may not be jet setting. You may not be living on the beach. It's not a set it and forget it. But when you control your time, when you can determine when you're going on vacation and when you're not, when you can determine if you're going to be at your school, at your kids' and grandkids' events, you decided, that is what you really desire, the control of your time and not the money. Go ahead and connect with me. Join Financial Alchemy. Go to coachrenz.com/the store. We'll fix your credit and we'll show you how to build wealth so that you control your time, because that's what it's about, you controlling your time, where you live and how you live. That's what you really desire. And if it is, then sign up today. If you're not ready, don't sign up. Don't sign up. If you're a procrastinator, maybe you shouldn't sign up. Maybe you should wait, because you should only sign up for this program when you're ready to make a change in your life. And if you're ready to make that change, then go ahead and sign up for Financial Alchemy and we'll get you started. And if you want to win the popcorn giveaway, hashtag gourmet popcorn at the bottom of this video. Hashtag gourmet popcorn at the bottom of the video. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable.